They cannot do anything more. The Iran is in favor of peace, in favor of, we can say, peace and actually not any more war in the world. And we are accepting, we are welcoming any initiation, but we don't accept anything which is imposed, even if it is peace. As our leader mentioned, that we are not accepting imposed peace. The peace should be based on some basis. This base could be condemnation and stop the aggressor, and make this one not happen in the future. You know that this is a difficult time. We thank Indian people, Indian figures who actually sympathizes with us and who actually supporting. This is a time that I can say those who are actually friend in needs are friend in deeds. We don't forget any country, any government, any nation that they stood beside us to tackle such a disaggregation which has been made by one of the vicious regime in the world. And I thank you for this time to listening to my short speeches. Yes.
Hi sir, I'm Siddhant. I have two small questions. First, when it comes to the evacuation of Indian nationals, how is Iranian government helping India? And my second question is, we have seen the Pakistani army chief going to US at a time when Iran, which is its neighbor, has been suffering the attack. So what do you have to say about the Pakistani presence? Because they discuss Iran as well, and there are reports that the American side is keen that Pakistan helps them in whatever plans they are making.
Regarding your first question, we are in a close contact with the MEA.
All right, so that was the press conference of the Iranian embassy in India, where they say that Iran is not in the favor of war, but in the favor of peace. But until and unless Israel continues to strike them, they will not bow down, and that Iran has every right to defend themselves and protect their people. Meanwhile, we move on to other breaking news that's coming in. More than 50 fighter jets have been attacked, selected targets of the nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. So that's a huge escalation yet again that's coming to fore, where we learned that there have been more than 50 fighter jets that have been attacked, selected targets of the nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. Remember, there have been back-to-back tit-for-tat strikes that have come to the fore, especially targeting of the nuclear areas. And in the latest, we learned that over 50 Israeli fighter jets have struck Tehran. All right, so the conflict has entered its day 8. It's in the second week of the conflict, where we learn that Israel has now confirmed that they have targeted 50 Israeli jets, and that most of them were of the weapons program and the industrial sites of the production of missile components, and this specifically has happened in Tehran. Remember, Iran is yet to respond to these. The IDF is making these claims, but what we do know so far is over the time, in about 8 days, where Israel and Iran have struck each other, most of them have been nuclear sites, be it in Tel Aviv or for this matter in Tehran. And that's the latest breaking news update that we're getting in, where 50 fighter jets of the Israeli have attacked the nuclear facility in Iran, Tehran to be specific in this case. Meanwhile, as the escalation continues, Republic is on the front line. Republic is reporting from ground zero, giving you a ground report, a detailed report on where are those places which have been struck. Here is a report showing the aftermath from Israel's commercial capital. Take a look.
I'm currently standing in Bnei Brak, which is an ultra-Orthodox town located 3 to 4 kilometers from Tel Aviv. A direct Iranian missile hit this town 3 to 4 days back, and you can see behind me most of the buildings were affected, and there was a school which is located right opposite to me for disabled students where over 300 students study, and the school was also affected. You can see clearly what we have shown in the other videos, that this is also one of the civilian areas which was impacted, and almost all the missiles that were targeted by the Iranian regime has only been targeted on civilian population and civilian areas. I'll try to pan my camera and show you what it looks from behind.
More breaking news coming in. Israel has released a video which appears to show a missile fragment hitting the ground in Israel after interception. The municipality of the Yehuda in Israel released a video on Friday that appears to show a fragment hitting the ground after a missile from Iran was intercepted. So that's a big blow to Iran, where another missile has been intercepted by Israel. This is a video that has been released by Israel, where you can see how a missile fragment hit to the ground in Israel after interception. The municipality of Yehuda in Israel has released this video on just a few moments back that appears to show a fragment of a missile that the Iran had fired hitting the ground after it was intercepted by the Israelis. All right, joining us live on that is Nick from Tel Aviv. Nick, there's a recent video that we are showing it to our viewers where Israel has intercepted another missile that Iran had fired. It had hit the ground. The fragments are being seen. What is the current situation on ground like?
Now I'm the center of Tel Aviv. This is the street of Dizengoff, and here you can see again, cafes are open, restaurants are open. Many people are going outside, although of those barrages of rockets, but people still want to continue to live their lives. And I want to show you something amazing. This is one of the bars in the center of Tel Aviv. And what they are saying that we have here a good bomb shelters, which are good enough for you, and they are close to here. And it shows you that the most important thing now for the Israelis is to have bomb shelters next to them. It's not a good drink or meal, but it is to be safe. And this is the situation in Israel already for 1 week, that Israelis are under constant barrage of rockets from Iran, like the one that you showed in Or Yehuda, the city in the center of Israel. And those residential areas, like here behind me, are the targets of the Iranian ballistic missiles. Some of them have illegal ammunition, cluster bombs, which full of small bombs. It's a one big ballistic missile that spreading a lot of smaller bombs, and they can damage a lot of people and places all around. So right now, the situation now in the center of Israel is calm, because Israelis, after decades of this kind of atmosphere with a continuous war against the proxies of Iran in Lebanon, in Gaza, in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, they are used to this kind of reality of constant barrages of rockets and terror attacks, and they know that they need to continue to live in some way. Back to you.
Right, Nick. Thank you very much for sharing those details. We will keep coming back to you as and when there are more updates on the story. For now, we move on to some more breaking news that's coming in. And as a part of Operation Safe Return, a passenger ship returned to Israel from Cyprus and was received this morning at the port of Ashdod in Israel. So this is a part of Operation Safe Return, where we are looking at how a passenger ship that has returned to Israel from Cyprus and was received this morning at the port of Ashdod in Israel. Remember, the Israel has initiated Operation Safe Return, visuals of which are on your screen, and as a result, one of the ship has landed in Ashdod in Israel, where citizens are being evacuated for their safe return. They're being moved to safer areas. Nick again is joining me live on the broadcast. He's staying with us, in fact. Nick, talk to us about what this operation is all about and what is it aiming at.
Yeah, so many Israelis, about 100,050, are stuck abroad. And Israel, maybe this is the only nation that people want to come back to the country while there is a war erupting in their region, because the people here are patriotic and they understand that this is war of survival, and they want to be close to their friends, to their families, loved ones, those who can support the army, supporting the army, or going to the army as a reservists. And this is the way of them to come back to Israel and support Israel, because the airspace is closed. So there are not many ways that Israelis can come back to Israel. Israel is surrounded by not such a friendly countries, and that's why it's hard for Israelis to go back to Israel. But still, they're trying to do it via the sea with the ships that even the national airline of Israel, El Al, rented some of those ships in order to return back their passengers whose flights were canceled. And now from Israel, it is really hard to go out, but Israel tries to bring back all the people, and some of them are coming also with flights, but those flights are not introduced to the public. They don't want that Iran will know exactly when those flights are landing in Israel, because it's really dangerous because of those barrages of rockets. So Israel tries to find some slots for those commercial flights in order to bring back its citizens, but they are not taking people from the airport, because it takes much longer to do check-in for new passengers, but to take people out of the plane is much faster, and it is more secure. So that's why Israel is doing this operation, which they call it the return home, and the rescue operation of Israelis that stuck abroad. Back to you.
Right. Nick, thank you very much for sharing those details. Meanwhile, it is the Iranian foreign minister who has said that Iran is not seeking negotiations with anyone as long as Israeli attacks continue. Now, the Israeli foreign minister is set to meet with the representatives from different countries like that of Britain, Germany, France and European Union in Geneva. Here's the soundbite that you need to hear about what he said on no negotiations at all.
تهاجمات رژیم صهیونیستی ادامه داره، خواهان مذاکره با هیچ کسی نیستیم. الحمدلله مقاومت جانانه‌ای که نیروهای مسلح ما کردن به تدریج داره آشکار میکنه که اون فکری که اینها کرده بودن که مثلا با یک سری ضربات برق‌آسا میتونن ملت ایران تسلیم کنن، یک فکر باطل. ما در شرایط حاضر و در شرایطی که تهاجمات رژیم صهیونیستی ادامه داره، خواهان مذاکره با هیچ کسی نیستیم. الحمدلله مقاومت جانانه‌ای که نیروهای مسلح ما کردن به تدریج داره آشکار میکنه که اون فکری که اینها کرده بودن که مثلا با یک سری ضربات برق‌آسا میتونن ملت ایران تسلیم کنن، یک فکر باطل.
That was the statement of the Iranian foreign minister. Meanwhile, we are getting a lot more updates on the raging conflict. Let's take a look at some of them. Israel has stated that Iran's attack on a hospital and residential building were a violation of international law. Israeli army spokesperson has said that there is no doubt that the Iranian regime deliberately and maliciously shot at the hospital and a population center with the aim of harming the civilians. Iran has launched a new attack on southern Israel. A fire erupted and cars were set ablaze following the attack, which took place today. The Israeli army stated the sirens were sounded in several areas across Israel following the identification of missiles launched from Iran towards Israel. The emergency services have not reported any casualties, but released video shows car on fire and a big cloud of smoke rising near some buildings. The Israel Defense Forces has stated that the Israeli Air Force and Navy have intercepted hundreds of UAVs launched from Iran. As per reports, over 95% of threatening drones were successfully neutralized. Aerial defense systems, observation units, missile ships and aircrafts are working in coordinated 24/7 operations to protect Israeli airspace. These efforts run parallel to offensive strikes which are aimed at degrading Iran's firepower. The intercepted drones and missiles were intended to strike Israeli population centers, underscoring the ongoing threat to civilians. President of Israel arrived at Socorro Hospital in Beersheba this morning. There he met the director of the hospital, Professor Shlomi, along with doctors, nurses and patients. He said that the Jews and Muslims were both present and together have looked at the destruction and devastation caused by Iranian missile that was fired indiscriminately with the sole intention of taking innocent lives in the hospital. He emphasized this is a war crime. And it's time for us to slip into a short break, but after the break, we'll get you that statement of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who was in poll-bound Bihar, where he has hit out at the opposition with his Jungle Raj jibe. Also, after the break, are details of how there is spate of Air India flight cancellations. Yet again, we'll get you the details of how many international and domestic flights have been cancelled just today.
विमल में गुलिस्तां के ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुलें तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की जुबां में खुद को ऐसे डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबां कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं? विमल, बोलो जुबां कैसी?
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
כל המיון. תראו את גבול הברצים, תראו את האנשים, תראו את האנשים.
Early this morning, an Iranian ballistic missile directly hit the Soroka hospital in Beersheba. This hospital serves over 1 million Israelis, including Bedouins, Jews, Christians, and Arabs alike. Iran targeting civilian centers with ballistic missiles is no surprise for us. They have been openly declaring their desire to destroy the state of Israel for decades now.
את המצב בחמינאי היטלר המודרני. אדם עומד עשרות שנים בראש מעצמה. יש לו השפעה אידיאולוגית רבה. הוא מפעיל אותה ואומר שהוא בעד השמדת ישראל. הוא מפעיל את כל המשאבים גם על חשבון העם שלו.
I have seen what it takes to report from the front lines. Accuracy, courage, urgency and responsibility. At Republic School of Journalism, you will be trained for that reality. It is not theory. It is live learning from inside a working newsroom from day one. If you want to report the truth when it matters the most, Republic School of Journalism is where you begin. Course begins on the 30th of June. Apply now.
विमल में गुलिस्तां की ये कुछ लजीज फरिश्ते जब साथ घुले तो जी ललचाए और दिल कहे कि स्वाद की इस जुबान में खुद को ऐसा डुबाऊं कि निकल ना पाऊं। विमल की जुबान कुछ है ही ऐसी, मानते हैं ना? विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
יש שם, זה לא נפילות?
זה נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but it's so many people have been killed. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Iran's foreign minister says his country is not seeking negotiations with anyone as long as Israel continues to strike Iran. Israel says that Iran targeted Beersheba with a large missile strike today, but the Israeli Air Force destroyed the launches before they fired.
बिहार में जंगल राज लाने वाले मौका देख रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरह फिर से अपने पुराने कारनामे करने का मौका ढूंढ रहे हैं.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi takes on the opposition in poll-bound Bihar, says opposition wants to bring back Jungle Raj. Spate of Air India flight cancellations yet again. 7 Air India domestic and also international flights cancelled today due to maintenance and operational issues. Second leg of Operation Langra continues in Uttar Pradesh. Criminals shot in encounter in 10 cities. Encounter underway between Maoists and police in Chhattisgarh's Kanker. 1 Maoist eliminated. A very warm welcome, viewers. You're watching Live and Breaking. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. We start with the news coming in from West Asia, viewers. Now, Israeli strikes in Iran continue in full swing. And in the latest, the breaking news is that the Israeli Air Force has struck Iran's selected targets. More than 50 fighter jets of Israel have struck selected targets on nuclear weapons program and industrial sites for the production of missile components in Tehran overnight. So more than 35 of Iranian missile sites and also nuclear sites have been destroyed by Israeli Air Force. That's the breaking news we have right now. And for this, Israeli Air Force had deployed more than 50 fighter jets. That's the breaking news we have. So Israel on its path, on its operation of decimating the Iranian nuclear program. And now multiple targets in Tehran in the latest have been hit by the jets, the fighter jets of Israel. That's the breaking news we have right now. Iranian missile production sites have also been hit. And so have these nuclear sites as well. Yesterday we saw how the Iraq facility, hard water facility, had been also destroyed by, has been at least hit. We do not know yet the level of destruction, but that's a nuclear reactor Israel claims it has struck yesterday and today too. In Tehran, several of the nuclear facilities and missile sites have been also, missile production sites have been hit. And you have the visuals coming in as Iran hits the Beersheba city. And in fact, it planned even a bigger attack in Beersheba. Now we have the Israelis hitting back at Iran, the counter-strike in Iran by Israel on their nuclear sites and missile sites as well. Meanwhile, viewers, Republic TV is the only channel reporting from the war zone. Here's a report showing the aftermath from Israel's commercial capital.
I'm currently standing in central Tel Aviv, which has been very much affected with the Iranian ballistic missile. As you can see at the back, most of the buildings are charred and have been destroyed. And if I could pan the camera to the other side and I can show you, most of the buildings here have been completely destroyed and the areas have been evacuated. Most of the citizens once are flooding a street with people flooding in, eating in the cafes around. It looks very empty right now. And at this point of time, we could hardly see anyone on the street. What do you see right now? What was before?
Very popular hub for Olim and Israelis alike. There's lots of different internet cafes in the area that are now closed because of the damage behind us. What used to be a very normal streets. Down there, there's a very well-known internet cafe that is now closed. Insane. I try not to walk here super often since Sunday because of all the glass and all the destruction, but eventually it's just unavoidable. So it's a bit freaky seeing it and just what it used to be. It used to be just a very normal place where you just see everyone, like as you walk down all the cafes, you see everyone you know, and now it's just totally different.
And let's focus on that building for a second. Can you show that building? That building is standing for sure, but that looks nothing like what it used to be.
No, standing, but it's just barely. I mean, thankfully a lot of the buildings in the area, as long as you're in the shelter, in the miklach or the mamak or the mamad, whatever you go to when there's a siren, you'll be safe. But then you exit and it's just absolutely chaos and destruction. So it's there's tons of broken windows. It just looks bad.
And now, viewers, there's a breaking news coming in. There's a missile that has been launched from the northern Gaza Strip that has been detected. And it fell in an open area in Beersheba. So from the Gaza Strip as well, the missiles have been launched towards Beersheba, and now that attack has also been thwarted, and no casualties have been reported so far in Beersheba. But there you have the visuals from the city of Beersheba, where Iran has attacked. In fact, it has today attempted another a strike in Beersheba. This is the hospital and the residential building, then the school that have been hit. This is the residential building, as you can see, sites of destruction in Israel. These are residential buildings in several areas of Israel that have been struck by the ballistic missiles launched from Iran. But this one is from Gaza. We're talking about the latest attempt is made from Gaza this is a strike aimed at the Beersheba city once again. And however, no casualty has been reported. The strike has been intercepted and has been detected. It fell in an open area in Beersheba. So breaking news coming in right now. The firefighting continues and the missiles being fired by the Iranians and the proxy groups of Iran as well. And Israel, of course, continues to strike back. Now, as tensions spiral in the Middle East amid the escalating Israel-Iran conflict, fears mount over a broader geopolitical fallout. Could Russia and China covertly back Iran in a proxy war targeting United States interests, especially under a Trump-led administration? With global alliances shifting and war rhetoric intensifying, this detailed analysis unpacks the high-stakes power play, potential covert operations, and what it means for global stability. Is the next Cold War already here? And is Trump at its center?
יש שם, זה לא נפילות?
זה נפילות, אבא, זה נפילות.
Russia, Ukraine is so stupid. Would have never happened if I was president. You guys agree with that, right? Would have never happened if I was president. Putin would have never done it. And I spoke to him yesterday and I said, you know, he actually offered to help mediate. I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I said, Vladimir, let's mediate Russia first. You can worry about this later. But I think that's going to work out too, but so many people have been killed. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. All right, any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it. Most importantly, you have millions of people dead. Millions of people dead because of three people. I would say three people. Let's say Putin, number one. But let's say Biden, who had no idea what the hell he was doing. Number two, and Zelensky. And all I can do is try and stop it. That's all I want to do. I want to stop the killing. And I think we're doing well in that regard. I think you'll have some very good proposals very soon.
Last question.
called negotiation. You set a number. And if you go down, if I set a number at a ridiculous high number and I go down a little bit, they want me to hold that number, 145% tariff. Even I said, man, that really got up. You know how it got? Because of fentanyl and many other things, and you added it up. I said, where are we now? We're at 145%. I said, whoa, that's high. That's high. They were doing no business whatsoever, and they were having a lot of problems. We were very nice to China. I don't know if they're going to be nice to us, but we were very nice to China. And in many ways, I think we really helped China tremendously because, they were having great difficulty because we were basically going cold turkey with China. We were doing no business because of the tariff.
For a very short break, viewers, but we'll get you the updates coming in on the second leg of Operation Langda. The crackdown on the criminals continues. Criminals shot in encounters in 10 cities in the latest. An encounter underway between Maoists and police in Chhattisgarh is conquered as one Maoist is eliminated. Fight against Red Terror continues.
आपकी फेवरेट हुंडई कार्स पर मिल रही है अमेजिंग डील्स। वैसे लोगे तो आप हुंडई ही, चाहे दिल की सुनो या डील्स की, तो जल्दी चले आओ हुंडई शोरूम।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
כל המיון. תראו את כולם רצים, תראו את האנשים, תראו את האנשים.
Early this morning, an Iranian ballistic missile directly hit the Soroka hospital in Be'er Sheva. This hospital serves over 1 million Israelis, including Bedouins, Jews, Christians, and Arabs alike. Iran targeting civilian centers with ballistic missiles is no surprise for us.